Ice-T discovered he was truly alone when he was a little child and lost both parents. Despite having a nearly four-decade career as a well-respected actor and musician in Hollywood, Ice-T experienced loneliness following the early deaths of his parents. Losing a parent during your adolescent years and within 4 years is tragic, but losing both is heartbreaking. Regretfully, Ice-T's Tracy Marrow has personal experience with it. Despite the fact that gangs and crime were all around him, he polished up his act and used music to find escape. He is now a well-liked performer and a family man. Family Man, The Law and Order, Special Victims Unit actor and his high school sweetheart Adrian welcomed their first child, Laetitia, in March 1976. Ice Tracy Marrow Jr., Ice-T's second child, was born in November 1991 to his longtime partner, Darlene Ortiz. Nicole Coco Austin, a swimsuit model, proved to be the one for the rapper. In 2002, they exchanged vows and collaborated on the reality series Ice Loves Coco. Fans of Ice-T and Coco were happy to hear that she was expecting their first and only daughter in 2015. Channel after Nicole was born in November 2015, her dad's parenting style was altered. Author Robert Iceberg Slim Malpenbeck II served as the inspiration for Ice-T's stage name. Ice-T once acknowledged that he had been Channel's more conscious parent than he had ever been for Laetitia and Tracy Jr. The primary factor, he continued, was time. The death of his mother left him unsettled. Laetitia was still a high school student when she was born. He became a well-known rapper and actor when his son joined the family. Ice-T made the observation that he was too preoccupied with survival to be able to focus on his children. He can finally focus more on his family now that he has wealth, notoriety, and success. "We bring the baby home. She's crying. I see her and they sleep with me every night," he said in clarification. "She's really growing every day and I'm more aware of it now." Harsh Upbjørn Jang. Despite appearing to have it all, a large family, a prosperous career, and a devoted wife, Ice-T's path to fame was paved with suffering, misfortune, and La's underworld characters. The rapper was born in New Jersey in 1958, and he grew up primarily in Summit, a predominantly white neighborhood. He would go by Trey instead of Tracy since he believed Tracy was a girl's name. Sadly, he was exposed to tragedies at a young age when his mother Alice passed away from a heart attack. Ice-T said of her that she was a beautiful, intelligent, and supportive woman who looked like Dorothy Dandridge or Lena Horne, even though she was only 9 years old when she passed away. He only has a few specific memories of Alice because he was so young when she died, but one of them is that she frequently said, "People are stupid." He also recalls not crying upon her death. Ice-T first became aware of racism when he was around 7 years old, after one of his white friends turned down an invitation to his house for a boy whose skin tone was too dark. Although Ice-T was aware that he was black as well, he was perplexed by the fact that he was still invited and handled like a white person. When he told Alice about his confusion, she merely responded, "Honey, people are stupid." A bicycle was given to Ice-T by his father, who reared him as a single parent, for Christmas the year after Alice passed away. However, because he left it unattended, it was stolen. After that, he began stealing bicycle parts to build himself one. After a few months, Ice-T had built 3 or 4 weird-looking bikes out of stolen parts. The rapper acknowledged that while he didn't feel lonely as a child, he did after Alice passed away. Still, 4 years after his mother's death, he felt truly alone when his father, Solomon, also passed away from a fatal heart attack. Ice-T lost both of her parents when she was 13 years old. He acknowledged that they weren't particularly chatty or loving, but at least they provided him with food and a roof over his head. It was their lack of affection that left him detached. "You had the best clothes, the best cars, but you always ended up dead in the pen." Tran is a theater to Los Angeles. The events merged in Ice-T's memory due to the fact that his parents passed away at such a young age, just 4 years apart. He experienced all that anguish and sorrow in his bubble as an only child, so it was particularly difficult for him. Eventually, he was sent to live with his aunt in South Central Los Angeles, where he attended Crenshaw High School, which was also attended by the Brims, who are now a part of the Bloods and members of the Hoover Crips gang. Ice-T never joined a gang, but he was constantly surrounded by gang members he got to know through his girlfriend, who resided in a Crip-controlled neighborhood. He discovered affection from gang members, something his family had not given him. He got his girlfriend pregnant, enlisted in the army, and then came back to Los Angeles to steal to support himself. Ice-T realized it was time to move off the streets and contribute to society when his fellow criminal partners were progressively apprehended and imprisoned for a number of years. Hip-hop entered his life at that point, and it completely transformed it. He clarified that he knew that was his route out because he would rap for other gang members and they would love it. He said, "Crime is glamorous until you get caught," in reference to the life of crime. You always died in the pen, even though you had the greatest cars and clothes. Ice-T is now utilizing all of his relationships and life experience to help him avoid repeating the mistakes his parents made with him. He would talk to his wife and children a lot, as opposed to living in a household where there was little to no communication. What a wonderful way to change his life. In a devastating post, Ice-T expresses his grief over the death of a friend who was murdered. Ice-T recently shared his sorrow on social media in an emotional post, expressing his grief over the murder of his friend. The Grammy Award-winning performer voiced his thoughts regarding a recent tragedy less than a week ago. Joseph Taheim Bryan, a writer, producer, and close friend, passed away. Ice-T posted a vintage photo of himself spending some quality time with the deceased along with a few other people, such as actor Tobias and rapper Havoc. In the post, Ice-T included a poignant caption that expressed his emotions and reflections on the event. He said, "I'm not in a good place behind this. Taheem was a good dude making positive moves," he went on. "I'm devastated. Dirty followed him home and killed him." Along with hanging out, the writer and rapper-turned-actor collaborated on a few projects, including Ice-T's 2020 crime film Equal Standards. Taheim, regrettably, was killed at the age of 50 while unwinding in his brand-new Mercedes-Benz from 2021. The authorities received a report that someone had been shot between 11:15 and 11:18 p.m. on the day of the incident. The victim had multiple gunshot wounds when the police arrived at the scene. They took him to Mount Sinai Hospital, where it was determined that he had passed away. His wife and daughter were left behind. In addition to being a gifted musician with numerous Grammy Awards and hit songs that have reached the top of the charts, Ice-T is a true friend who genuinely cares about the success of his crew. In the studios, Ice-T produced a couple reality shows, including Ice-T's Rap School and Ice Loves Coco, and he made appearances in movies. He is 63 years old and loves spending time with his wife, Coco, and daughter Channel, who looks just like him. Laetitia and Tracy Marrow Jr., his two adult children from previous relationships, are his children. Every bit a devoted husband and father Ice-T is, he protects his family from cyberbullies by projecting his own image onto them. The three-time father is also in attendance to attack the detractors. When Coco discusses their 5-year-old daughter's decision to be breastfed, she quickly attracts the attention of trolls. Her spouse, though, has shown up quickly to support her choices. Ice-T is incredibly devoted to his friends and family, and he has demonstrated to his admirers how eager he is to form close-knit groups with them.